So this guy's saying to you that he never came from a woman being on top. Well, you say, well then, I guess you never will, baby. And don't try to prove him differently until there's a commitment present, babe. Like, until there's a commitment present, do not show that to him. Hello, my loves. Welcome back for another video. I am so sorry to have been gone for so long. I actually have a severe allergy to pollen this year. It's super new for me, but I've just been sick, okay? Like, my eyes were watering, my nose was stuffy. I just could not put on makeup and film. So we are back, we are better, and I wanted to start off today with a banger, with a really good video. It is time for an updated TMI Girl Chat video. I am going to answer all of your sex questions, all of your love questions, all your relationship questions. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty today. I am an open book. I love being vulnerable with you. I'm gonna give you guys my 25, almost 26-year-old advice. My advice has changed over the years. I have changed. So when I change, I share what I have learned, things that I have just been accumulating over the years that have really helped me. And hopefully you guys can walk away from this video feeling like you just had a nice FaceTime chat with your girl. Y'all talked about all the deep stuff and you feel better and more knowledgeable. I hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I enjoy making it. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you guys like these types of videos from me, follow me on Instagram, and let's just get into the TMI Girl Chat. I know it's gonna be juicy. Okay, first question is, recommendation hair removal method, wax or shave for down there? So, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I do it all. I shave, I wax, I laser, and that is something that has always been who I am. But I'm gonna tell you guys the real tea. What has been the most effective method for me to have long-lasting hair removal where it doesn't grow back fast, there's no dark spots, there's no ingrown hairs, is waxing. And the reason why I don't do it as much is because it's so freaking painful. Like, your skin does get used to it over time, but it really is genuinely kind of a painful experience, especially if you're getting inside, in the booty, and everywhere else, which I like to do a full Brazilian. I have been getting sugar waxed by my best friend's mom, who's actually an incredible esthetician. She does not play, and what I've learned about sugaring is it's black girl friendly because it helps with the dark marks that are down there. It's literally sugar, water, and lemon, so it has lightening methods to it. It's just so good for our skin. So try to find your local sugaring person, or if you're in New Jersey, I will leave her info down below, but essentially, I have found that sugaring is the best for me for hair removal looking like baby's butt. It ends up lightening your body over time. You look good down there and it stays smooth extra long. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Occasionally I'll take out the razor if I don't have time to go get waxed. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't like shaving. It's just not as good. It's just not. Okay, somebody asked the correlation to acts of service and foreplay with men. So I think you're referring to that very famous TikTok conversation about when men do things for us, it's like foreplay to us. So this is something that I think is really important to tell your boyfriend or your husband if, let's just say, you're going through a little dry spell, or you're just trying to spice up your love life and kind of sharing more intimate details of how you can be satisfied better. I have learned in my own personal journey, and I'm sure other women have also learned this, that a man doing things throughout the day actually feels like foreplay to us prior to being intimate later that evening. What I mean by that is, a man, you know, let's just say you wake up in the morning, he changes a light bulb, he gives you a little money to go to Starbucks, he's doing something in the yard for you, he's taking care of X, Y, and Z. That's like emotional foreplay. It's kind of playing on that manly, sexy vibe when a man just takes care of you and nurtures you. It does definitely do something to the brain and to the girl downstairs that says, oh my God, I'm in safekeepings. This man is gonna get some tonight. So it's emotional foreplay essentially. So then later that evening when you guys actually do physical foreplay, you're gonna be more in the mood, you're gonna wanna do it more. So I definitely think if your man wants to know how to satisfy you, let him know that acts of service is the way to your heart. And it is for a lot of women. We like when men do things for us. It's sexy, it turns us on, and it just gets us in the mood. And so if you're struggling with trying to figure out how can I get into that mood, sometimes it's just the lack of stuff that he's doing throughout the day that's just not making you feel like, damn, I wanna F him later. Do you know what I mean? So the next person said, I'm tired of having meaningless connections and casual sex. Any advice? So I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I have always been pro whatever you want. I have had my moments in my life where I've been casual, I've enjoyed certain people, and I've realized, I've come to the conclusion that it's really difficult for women to have casual sex without emotions being attached. That's just fact. Obviously, there are plenty of women who can do it, and I believe a lot of women who've experienced trauma or have been so affected relationship-wise that they turned off their emotions sexually and have been able to kind of separate the two. But for the most part, we have deep emotional connections to those we're sharing our body with. Also, it's an energy exchange. You are swapping this person's energy, you are absorbing their energy, whether it's bad or good. And it's something that you really have to take into consideration. So if you are sick of having meaningless connections and casual sex, it's time to go abstinent. And I think it's really crucial, and I don't believe that you should put a time limit on your abstinence. I think it's just something that you should do to practice genuinely just nurturing yourself and your body. I think a lot of the times having sex with people that we don't care for, or that maybe we do care for them, but they don't care for us, can also just be very depleting, and it doesn't help you get to the next chapter in your life, whether that's just conquering your self-love a little bit more, or wanting to meet a husband or a boyfriend, somebody who you can have a long-term connection with. This is stunting your growth in that aspect. So if it means going abstinent, I think it's really good to do so. And I am so pro-abstinence. I have done abstinence many times in my journey. I'm abstinent currently. I think it's really nice. And whenever I do decide to hook up with somebody again, or have sex, or share my body with somebody, I want it to be under my terms and conditions. And I don't like being swayed in any way with a man who maybe wants to move quickly or wants something to be casual when I'm not a casual person. And I think that that's what it is. Our mindsets have to change. If you're not a casual girl, if you're not nilly-willy with your life and your career, you're probably not gonna be nilly-willy with your sex. Okay, somebody said, thoughts on long-term relationships turning into friends with benefits? No, absolutely not. Because to me, as a woman, what is the benefit? What is the benefit? Sex? I really just don't believe that for 1 second. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that sex doesn't feel good, because it does. We like having sex, especially if it's with somebody who knows what they're doing, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, sex is so unenjoyable. No, it is. But I have to sit here and say, if you were in a long-term relationship with someone where you loved them, there was emotions there, there was history made, there was love made, there was so much depth to that situation, and you go from that to casual sex with that person? Absolutely not. And if they're trying to sway you to do that, they are nuts, okay? Like, it's just not gonna happen. So I think that what's best is to completely detach from that person and move on with your life. It's important that we instill healthy boundaries on ourselves, on our bodies, and on our lives. It is just crucial. And I think that a lot of times we can encounter people who want to push the boundary a little bit and want to see what they're gonna get out of it and how they can get it. And we have to be willing to say no and sometimes walk away from things that maybe we do like temporarily. But I do believe long-term, this is not something that you're gonna like and enjoy. And I think that we should make decisions based off of how we're going to feel after it happens, not just currently. Because I think a lot of times we're enjoying the sex when it's happening, it's great, it feels good, and then you go home and you are angry at yourself. And I much rather, you know, not speak to somebody and not hook up with them and feel good about how I'm doing and how I'm treating myself, versus giving myself and that person temporary satisfaction for a long-term effect of just not liking what I did. Okay, the next thing is vitamins for women's health. I will link them down below and probably put them on the screen as well. I have the best vitamins. When I say prior to taking these vitamins, I would get BVs a lot quicker and yeast infections, and I just consider myself to be very sensitive down there and prone to getting those things when my pH is thrown off. So literally just having sex with somebody can throw off your pH even if they're clean, and I just think that it's important that we are protecting ourselves and that healthy bacteria in our bodies. And for me, what helps me is taking vitamins, and I swear by them. Like, I would even feel something kind of coming along, like maybe like a yeasty coming along, like I would feel like the little subtle moments of it. I would take my vitamins twice a day and it would go away completely. It's a freaking miracle drug. So I'm gonna link it and put it on the screen, don't you worry. Red flags to look for when first meeting someone. Okay, so I think we should all just be girls really quick and talk about what our intentions are. If our intentions are to date this person, there's a lot of red flags to look for. So I'm just going to assume that we are trying to date this person. The first red flag to look for is him talking about his ex-girlfriend or how recent it was that they broke up. I don't care what anyone says. We have all had our heartbrokens at some point, and we possibly have all dated somebody. And if you haven't dated somebody, well, you're lucky. But let's just say everybody has dated someone. I think it's really weird when people go on a date with you and they want to get to know you and they choose to spend time talking about their ex. It's really weird and bizarre. So definitely pay attention to that red flag. Another red flag is when you ask that person, like, what is it that you're looking for? Or like, kind of explain to me, like, are you looking for a relationship or whatever? And they kind of dance around the issue and they say like, I'm just trying to see what's out there and possibly make a connection with somebody. Red flag. They're not being serious, because I think people who genuinely want love or a relationship are going to set that intention. And I think that it's really important that we date people, even if it's a first date, we date people with the same intention as us. Okay, so if you're a serious person and you want to seriously date and you go on a date with a guy who kind of is just looking for a situationship and seeing where it goes, he's not the one, babe. He can be a friend, but he's never going to be the man. So I think we need to just be two people trying to, meet the same person. And of course, there's going to be a guy or a girl who will lie and be like, I'm looking for a girlfriend, just to say it. But definitely look for people who are saying, oh, I just want to see where things go and I'm not really sure what I'm looking for yet. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Does sleeping together on the first date really mess things up? I would say 95% of the time, yeah. And then there's like that one anomaly who will comment down below being like, I've been with my husband for 15 years and we had sex on the first date. And I think that that's really cool. Like, good for you. I'm just not going to give that advice to women because it's really rare that that happens. I am trying really hard as a woman to start to get in the psyche of men. And I never used to do this in the past because a lot of my life has been surrounding myself. And even in my own journey of self-love and growth, I've had to address some issues that I've had even within that were preventing me from meeting good people. And I would say, well, I love myself and I'm confident and I think I'm great, so other people should feel that way. But if you're not presenting it that way and you're not presenting yourself in a way that would actually receive that same respect, it's hard for people to see it. So for instance, if you are sleeping with somebody on a first date, it could be construed as she's easy, she does this with every guy she meets, she doesn't have any boundaries, she's a very sexual person, and like a lot of guys just view it as like a negative thing and they think that you've done it with millions of other people, even if you haven't, even if this is the first guy you've done this to in a long time. They just view it that way. So even if you really, really, really want to have sex and it's something that you feel like is a vibe between you and he tries to like make a move, I would say, I think things are going really well. And I would love for this to continue another time, but I like the build up and kind of just like tease it, but like take it from him at the same time so that he knows that you're interested, but just not today and probably not for a long time. Dating app advice, and do you recommend them? I absolutely do not recommend dating apps, but I think it's a good way to introduce yourself to the dating pool. But I wouldn't say that they are a good source of meeting good people. I am an advocate for meeting people in person, and I'm gonna tell you why. One being, the person that meets you in person knows exactly what you look like. There's no angles, there's no filters. It's just you and that person. You already have come to the conclusion that you like each other's energy and vibe, so there's no issue with that. And a lot of the times you can kind of gauge what kind of person this is. It's really difficult on dating apps to figure out if somebody's being serious or not. A lot of the times they're not. Guys play games on dating apps and it's really just so stimulating to their brain that they're just always accepting people constantly just to see how many girls accept them back. It's kind of like an ego thing for them. So if you're really a serious person, dating apps are hard to be serious with. Now, I'm not gonna say I haven't gone on dates with guys from dating apps, because I have, but they did not live up to the dates that I've had with people I've met organically. So I can kind of identify the two things and say, I prefer dating guys that I meet in real life. It's just, you're cutting that weirdness out. And to be honest, a lot of the guys on dating apps have like social issues and they are obsessed with online dating, online sex and things like that. And it's hard to really meet someone who is very bubbly and out there and all that if they're spending so much time on the dating apps. I'm just saying. What do I tell a man that I'm seeing that always asks for sex? So I heard this from a friend a long time ago, and I've been using it in all of my encounters with men that I at least want to sleep with, but I am not sleeping with until we are together. And I'll say to a guy, I really love like our connection. I think it's really wonderful, and I would love to give you all of me when there's a commitment present. And that's a great way to tell a guy, I do want to sleep with you, but I don't want to sleep with you when we're not in a relationship. And if a guy tries to argue with you like, oh, I'm not gonna like buy the car without test driving it first, like it's just a bunch of nonsense. Like I really think a great way to kind of shut that down is by saying, listen, it's very rare for you as a man, and I'm sure you can admit it, that you've experienced so much bad sex that you regretted driving the car off the lot. Like I heard this from a man a long time ago, is that the worst sex on a scale of 1 to 10 for men is like a 7 or an 8, where for women, it could be a 0. We could rate sex a 0 out of 10, and the worst for a man is like a 7, okay? And a man told me that the worst sex a guy will ever have is probably a 7, because it's literally they're entering and leaving, and they kind of know how to satisfy themselves. So that's kind of something that I like to share with guys, that they're like, I like to test drive the car and da-da-da. It's like, listen, I get it. And you can go test drive a bunch of other cars if you want, but you're not gonna test drive this one, because nobody is going into the Bentley dealership and negotiating their prices. And you're not gonna negotiate a price with me, because I'm a Bentley babe. And that's just something that I think a lot of you guys need to have and build up in your life, and that confidence. And honestly, if somebody has a poor reaction to it, it's like, ew, like, why did you just react so poorly to me having higher standards? Enough. And I think that you'll be surprised how many men actually do enjoy that you have those standards and boundaries. And by the way, I wanna say that we're not doing this for men, and I really believe heavily in doing things for you. And this is a boundary that is instilled in you that protects you from unnecessary traumas and energies and swapping of spit and everything else. You want to make sure that somebody is serious about you enough before you get intimate with them, especially when you hit a certain age. Best perfumes for intimate moments. This has been one that I have been loving, and if I were to, let's just say, be intimate with somebody today, I would probably put this one on. Versace Crystal Noir. It smells so good. It's sexy. I think that it's a male favorite. Like when I wear this around men, they really like it. I also think Baccarat Rouge is really great as well, because it's just a fragrance that they're used to, and that it smells a little bit like skin because it kind of melts into the body. But if you want something that stands out, is sexy, is intense, definitely this. If you're more of a subtle queen when it comes to like being intimate at night, you like to, or I should say you like being intimate at night, you're kind of like in that fresh, like sexy, warm, beautiful scent, I think this one's great too. It's Philosophy Fresh Cream. It smells so good, and I think this is the perfect like intimate fragrance, because it just smells like cookies, and cookie for the cookie, if you know what I mean. Like I think it smells really nice, so I think you guys would like that one as well. The next question is how to learn your own body and what you like. So this is a very simple answer. It's to touch yourself. Learning your body means touching yourself and finding out what you like and what works for you. A lot of women don't explore their own bodies enough because they think it's icky and weird. It is not. Like, you can explore yourself. It's your temple, your body. And how can you really tell somebody how to touch you and how to please you if you don't even know how to do it yourself? A lot of the times women find out different things about their bodies that they had no idea because they were figuring it out. And I think it's just important to just figure it out and figure out what you like. And then when you do get into an intimate relationship with somebody that you care deeply for, you can share with them the things that you like. I think it's really nice to have that open dialogue with a person and be like, yeah, I like this, I like that, I like being touched here, and make sure you do this when you're doing that. It's nice. And honestly, men love when you give them guidance because they want to please you too, especially if they fuck with you. Like if they really fuck with you, they want to please you. So give them the 411 and let them know what's up. And you need to figure that out for yourself before you let them know. Dating tips for women over 25. I think that you need to definitely write a list as to what you're looking for. I think it's important to date and get familiar with dating. People always assume that 25 is like the end all be all of life where you're like, you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to have kids. That's not true anymore in the world that we live in. So you can still be getting started as we speak. And this is a great time to start setting healthy boundaries, meeting people that are equally yoked who have their shit together, because you're getting older and you're starting to have your shit together too. And it's nice to meet people that also do. Also, like I said, protect your body, protect your peace. Don't let people in your home that do not belong in your home, protecting your space and your time and your life. Use your time wisely and don't give up too much of it to somebody in the beginning. So let's just say, you know, you meet a guy, he wants to see you all the time, you're busy. Even if you're not busy, you're busy. You can't be accessible all the time. It's nice to take access from people sometimes. And the more that you date, the more you learn this. He told me he never came from a woman being on top. Is he lying? He absolutely is. Story time, and this will be the last question that I have today. I met a guy who I was really interested in. We were pursuing each other to date, not to fuck, not to do anything but to date. And we were very, very communicative. We were doing really, really well. And long story short, he told me over the phone one night that he cannot from somebody giving him head. And something that I've learned in my journey now, this was in the past, but now I've learned this, that men will say anything, sometimes to just get you to do it. They're, you know, saying things for shock value. They're saying things in hopes that you're gonna try to prove them differently. So if somebody says, I've never came from a girl being on top, or I've never came from head, they're lying. They're lying. I just think it's important to note that, you know, guys will say stupid things too in hopes that you're gonna try to change their mind and blah, 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 and who knows the reasoning behind it, but I just think it's important that you stay on top of it, you know the game, and you don't change yourself or adjust to their situation because they said they never had something. So this guy's saying to you that he never came from a woman being on top, well, you say, well then, I guess you never will, baby. And don't try to prove him differently until there's a commitment present, babe. Like, until there's a commitment present, do not show that to him. Don't prove it to him. It's not your job to prove to him that you're good at something. We all know you're good. We all know women are queens and goddesses, and we're good at everything. So I'm not going to sit here and convince somebody that I can do something that they're saying nobody's ever done. And trust me when I tell you, I tried really hard with that guy. I said, you know what? He said he never came from head. I gave him head. The man came in 30 seconds, girl. Okay, 30 seconds. That man lied to my face. So learn from me. Learn from stupid Haley, past stupid Haley, so that you guys can use that forward in your own life. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you guys want me to do another TMI girl chat, let me know and I will, because I feel like there was a lot more questions and I didn't get around to answering them, but I feel like this video was good because it was more about helping women kind of come into their own and stop giving in to BS. I think it's important that we do that. So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone. Mwah.